Just please stop yelling at me, please.
Call 911 now!
Welcome to Punished for Protecting Live, Occupy the Media, January 3rd with Francesca Amato Banfield. Welcome, Francesca.
Hey, welcome everybody. We don't have a whole lot of time. We have some core team members on right now. We're here with Canada chapter leader, Sandy McDonald. We're going to keep it at that. We're here with Melanie Lindman, Minnesota, USA chapter leader, Don Ruffke, North Carolina chapter leader, and I see a few others on. Oh, there we got. We have Melanie Herring, Georgia chapter leader, and let's see, I've got a few others that it looks like are joining. Oh, we have Thomas Crane, but I don't have you on video. I need you guys on video in order to talk if you're going to be talking. Sandy and I want to go over a couple things. We're seeing if Vincent Skeen is coming on. He is our South Africa chapter leader. I'm waiting on him right now. Also, I'm waiting on Stephen Evans. He's United Kingdom chapter leader. And anybody else right now that wants to get on from another country, that we would love to have you on right now. I know this is so late notice. I know we're doing a lot of things very spur of the moment right now. You're going to see a lot of this up until the date, but we're actually going past the date, January 3rd. Lots of stuff happening right now. And so we have some pieces we need to show tonight, very important. But Sandy and I are going to go over a few things. I'm actually going to have Sandy speak first about what she's doing about an email blast, and then I'm going to talk to you guys about ours in the USA as well, which both letters are done. But Sandy, go ahead and tell the viewing audience, and then we're going to show a couple pieces that we need to show.
Okay, so on January 3rd, Canada is straight across Canada is going to take part in emailing the entire government, every elected official in the government, all our MLAs, member of Legislative Assembly, the MP, the Prime Minister, the Justice Minister of Canada. We're going to blast all of the major news media across Canada and as many lawyers and judges that we can get a hold of. Right now we're sitting at about 700 or 800 email addresses. We're only about halfway through Canada. So on January 3rd, we're hoping to obtain 10,000 people to send this email demanding change in the family court, demanding that our children be heard, that children get a voice, that they have rights, that child abuse quit remaining unpunished, that child abusers must be held accountable for their actions and receive real consequences, and that child protection stop stealing children. We have 35 million people in Canada, and there's over 50,000 kids in care every year here in Canada. And I live in Manitoba, and Manitoba alone has almost 11,000 of those kids. And this is something that is out of control. They're taking a newborn baby on average every day here in Manitoba. And they're being ripped out of families who are good, loving families. Some families, yes, need help, but they are taken, forced into adoption, never given back their kids, or the kids remain in foster care for the rest of their lives with getting weekly or monthly visits. So kids don't need to be raised in foster care. They need to be raised by family, and children need to stop being abused. We have zero tolerance for domestic abuse in Canada, but we do not have zero tolerance for child abuse, which is, to me, strange, because I'm not saying that domestic abuse is okay, because it is not, but adults have the ability to somewhat protect themselves, where a child is innocent and not able to protect themselves, yet we do not have zero tolerance. So we're just seeking that at least 10,000 Canadians stand up on January 3rd and send this email to every elected politician in Canada, all the judges, all the lawyers, all the news media, just everybody that we can get our hands on that have taken part in destroying families, destroying children, and abusing children, and refusing to prosecute people who need to be prosecuted for the things they do. So that's what we're hoping to achieve on January 3rd, as well as the spending money. But we just feel that this would be very effective to have all of the government receive 10,000 emails or more on one day. So I think it would make a big difference for us. People can't get anywhere as one person, but if we have 10,000 people standing strong together, they cannot turn 10,000 of us away. They turn one of us away because they don't want to be bothered. They don't want to actually look at our problem or take on our cause or admit to their failure. So 10,000 people, they cannot reject us. They cannot tell us to go away, because 10,000 people are not going away. So that's why it's very important that 10,000 Canadians step up to the plate and help us out with this email on January 3rd. It's 2 days away. The email is almost complete. It's just being fine-tuned right now. And so you'll be supplied with the email. You can write your own letter if you want. And we're still working on all the email addresses, which I imagine will cap out at about 1,500 people. So you'll be supplied with all of those. You just have to clip and paste. It's pretty easy to do. We just need 10,000 people to help out with this. Did you want me to say anything else?
Oh, it looks like
I think she's...
You may hang in there because we may need you some more. But can you hear me all right?
Now we can. Yep.
Okay. So thank you, Sandy. And I also see that Shar Angelastro is on, and she's our New Jersey chapter leader. And so before we go, you know, with everybody having their piece to share tonight, our letter for the USA is complete. It is amazingly done, very well, and we've got a lot of folks in it. And so I am going to be posting that by this evening, and you are able to, you guys are able to go ahead and copy that as is, and go ahead and start the email blast here in the United States. Okay, my particular email is actually going to be. It actually has the emails below. So they're going to go to President Trump. They're going to go to the Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, and they're going to go to the U.S. Government Accountability Office. It is a very thorough letter, and all you have to do, so we've made it very easy for the viewers, very, very simple. And I expect, of course, my whole entire core team and outer core team and everybody that's volunteered throughout the United States of America, be sure to share it, be sure to email it, and begin your blasting. As soon as I get it up on Facebook, I don't know how to pin it, but I will try to pin it to the Punish for Protecting page, the National Coalition page. And all you need to do is, we made it so simple for you. It's thoroughly done. We didn't leave anything out. And all you'll need to do at this point is copy it, paste it into your email, and you have 3 emails that are already there for you to send out. Sorry. Hugs are like children. They like to have attention. Okay, so are Boston Terriers, excuse me. Okay, I'm sorry. They're making a lot of noise in the background. So it's real simple. You guys are going to love this letter. I'm going to get it up on Facebook after this live broadcast. Lee is not on yet. They stayed up all night. They did it all night, guys. This family, and those that are helping them, they were up all night. They did it all night. And what we're doing is hashtag Occupy the News or hashtag Occupy the Media. What we're doing, and this is something that we're going to continue to do because we need to do this as a nation. And I recommend and I encourage the other countries to do the same thing. We are taking back our voices. Listen how powerful this is, guys. We're seeing the broadcasts that are on Facebook. Now, for years and years, we've seen news media report people face-to-face inside their studios, or when they couldn't get someone, they would have them come in via satellite, remember? Or they come in now via video. Well, that's exactly what we're doing on a free platform. So we're taking over. That's what we're doing. People are sick of false news, lying news, or media that doesn't do anything to help the people. We are the government. We are the government, and we are going to make this is much bigger than ourselves, okay? And we are taking it back. And so these wonderful platforms broadcasting right now, this right here is going out on, I think, 7 or 8 different broadcasts as we speak right now. It's being seen worldwide. And the numbers just keep increasing. Don Rufty, who you're going to hear in a little bit here, I believe the one that we show, and Ted will give you guys, he'll show it, the one that, it's probably up to 200,000 views already. Okay, what was it, Don, 2 weeks ago? 77,000 views. The reason is because, first of all, it's very well, it's on peace. But second of all, it's because it's a true story. It's what's happening. And people are sick and tired of being violated against of our civil rights and our parental rights and our right to protect our children. They're not the ones that are out there that are supporting our children. They're not the mothers that squeeze these children out, carry them in their bodies. They're not the dads that spend countless nights crying over their children, the things you don't see in the public eye. Okay? They're not the ones who took themselves to the doctor and made sure they had a healthy pregnancy for 9 months. They're not the ones that are saving money, or the dad that's going to work and working 12-hour days so he can have his children in college when they get of age, or the mothers that are protecting their children from domestic violence and drug abuse. They're doing that for these families. They are doing the extreme opposite. And they're taking situations that are based on hearsay. I have a neighbor here, and it's the same judge that we're all targeting here with our lawsuit. And I could literally throw a rock out my window and hit a house all around me in a suburban neighborhood, and one in every one family has been violated against by family court and CPS. No one has been missed. We're talking about people that either have a lot of money, own businesses, and are very reputable, or don't have money and are decent, good, hardworking people. It doesn't matter. There's no rhyme or reason to how they abuse you. They just abuse you. They violate your rights. They demean your character. And all of us here that are part of this, each and every one of us are representative of Martin Luther King. We're a representative of Sojourner Truth. Okay? We represent the voice that came before us. And when you're a civil rights activist, you care about all people. If you miss something, if you miss the mark somewhere when it comes to human rights, you've missed it everywhere. We have to very much listen and be thoughtful and be very careful about validating what was violated in somebody's life, no matter what it was. So you may not like some of the people that we let speak on our program, but that's not up to you. What happens is if their human rights are being violated, then there's a violation that we can no longer tolerate as a people on a whole, and how it affects each and every one of us on every level. So we have to put a stop to this abuse altogether, 100%. And when you have a new, clean, fresh foundation, you'll have something good to build on that's not going to crumble anymore. And I don't care who you talk to, even if they're the most unlawful or the most arrogant or the most corrupted attorney for child especially, public defender, pretender, whatever you want to call them, or paid attorney, reputable or not reputable, they all say the same thing. Yes, the system is broken. Ask any of them. They will admit to you that the system is broken. And what I want to know is, how can a broken system help people that have broken lives, where something is broken? They can't do it. They do not have the authority to do so. And all they do is harm family after family after family after family. Now, we're not here tonight to be on a soapbox and complain about our own particular cases. We're going to give pieces of particular cases, okay? But we're going to move along and we're going to stay focused. We need to stay very focused right now. January 3rd is right around the corner. We are at January 1. It is 6:25 p.m. on the East Coast right now, okay? We need to rock this like never before. So we're occupying the media. We're standing out in front. We are going to stand. People are going on food strikes right now. They're fasting. They're not sleeping, okay? I'm not telling you what to do. You do what fits you at this moment, okay? And while we do this, I'm going to show you, I'm going to have that email up today so you guys can start blasting it. But just remember, on January 3rd, because I'm getting a lot of emails that they want militia. People want militia. People are so sick of this. They want the Oath Keepers to arrest these judges. I am 100% in with that. Absolutely. Because of the damages, the crimes to humanity, to families, to children worldwide. As you see story after story after story told. Okay? And as we see story after story after story told, I don't know how much more brokenhearted we need to become to say that this needs to be changed. Okay? So I'm going to have Ted go ahead and show this next clip, and then I'm going to ask Don Ruffy, and I'm going to go in order of some of my core team members here to just give a few minutes, please, as to why this is so important that everybody is involved, not spending any money on January 3rd in preparation for what we're going to do in the next following days. Continual occupy the news, stand out front, because they need to report the news that we want them to report. Hi, Nyanti. I have Nyanti on from Maryland, chapter leader. I'm very thankful to have all of you guys on right now. So, Ted, if you can please show that clip, and then I'm going to ask Don Ruffy to speak up for us a little bit.
Okay, Don's clip, correct?
I would like to welcome everyone out to family court today. I am the Honorable Judge Roy Bean. I will be presiding over the destruction of your family. That's why we call it family court. The course of your trial will be very lengthy. These proceedings will not be a trial in the manner that you might expect. These cases will be conducted on a kangaroo court basis. During the upcoming months, I will be violating your rights left and right. So go ahead and get used to it now. I prefer for you to be as compliant as possible with all of my directives. You will have no choice because I will have plenty of backup. The police or sheriff's deputies are here to do all of my bidding. By the way, the cops will also provide backup for everything the CPS or DSS agents tell you. That's why they call them law enforcement. Actually, that is a misnomer because they will not actually be enforcing the law. They will be enforcing my orders. In reality, they will be violating the law as part and parcel of our family court racket. But that is just an aside, so do not quote me on that. In fact, do not mention or reveal to anyone what takes place during these proceedings. I am placing a gag order on you. I am ordering you not to reveal anything of my skullduggery or that of the CPS or DSS workers. If you violate my order, I will have the cops put you in jail. They will gleefully do my bidding at all times. They are the enforcers in this very large criminal enterprise. I will also have complete judicial backup in the event you have the audacity to appeal any of my decisions. The judges over me will condone everything that I do. We are all in it together, so to speak. Money is a great motivator, and we are all after it. These proceedings, as I mentioned, will be quite lengthy. It will be so by design for two purposes primarily. Our aim in general is to extract as much money as possible from you for the benefit of myself and my fellow actors. Also, by dragging it out, it will help you to become accustomed to not having your children. Eventually, I will terminate your parental rights. We call it TPR. Although all of our proceedings will be conducted on a kangaroo court basis, do not even begin to think of it as a Mickey Mouse operation. Our very well-constructed racket garners for us hundreds of billions of dollars. This money is taken from the Social Security Trust Fund, so we will get the money, and this is big-time business. Unbeknownst to you, the attorney you have hired will be colluding with myself and the CPS or DSS workers. That is what makes our operation so smooth. Just to give you a friendly heads up on what to expect, you in all likelihood will become a pauper. You will spend all of your money trying to get your kids back, which will be an exercise in futility. You will not have a chance. It is kind of like the old arrangement of throwing a Christian to the lions. As we conduct our business, do not mention constitutionality, as that has no place in my courtroom. And I will tell you that in a heartbeat. Your so-called constitutional rights will be violated with regularity. As you have already noticed, I will be violating your First Amendment rights, the so-called freedom of speech. As I mentioned, there will be no jury trials. So your Seventh Amendment rights under the Constitution of the United States will equally be ignored and violated. Even if you request or demand a jury trial, I will deny that to you. That has already been arranged by design. Also, there will be no adherence to due process. You will not be allowed to defend yourself or prove your innocence. If I were to allow that, it would be crystal clear from the cold record that we have no case to stand on against you. So that will not happen. If you fail to comply with any of my court orders and fall behind on paying us the money that I order you to pay, I will also violate the constitutional prohibition against debtor's prison. I will put you in debtor's prison in a heartbeat. The coming months or years, as it may become, will be very stressful for you. Just to give you a friendly heads up, some of you your moms, dads, and your children will commit suicide. I do not encourage that, but I realize that frequently happens. Let me make it perfectly clear. We are not meaning to take your life. We just want to take all of your money. So that completes your orientation. Have a nice day. All rise and let the trial begin.
شغال؟ لا صور انت. يلا صور. بس اهدى انت. انت صور. تعال لا تخلص تعال خلص. يا اخواني صور افتح حالك صور احكي هذا السوسيال لا يخطو هذا الام اخذ الاطفال وهسه اخذ الام بالقوه. فرجي الاب اسمع نخليه يقرب. تعال ابو صور اخذ البنت عمرها السنه مريضه صور لها صور هيك فرج عم تضحك صور عم تقتلها خنيتها البوليس خنع سجل عم يقنع البوليس قرب عنده لا روح عندي زوم لا تخاف خنع البوليس عم يقنع البوليس لكن الدواء تبع ما بدي اجيب شيء ولا اقرب فوق انا هاي الام وخذوا طفلها بالقوه هذا الاب روح الله كيفك هذا كأن الشخص مسوي جريمة 4 سيارات يدخل من البوليس. خليك عم صور لا اختشوا خليك عم نحطها كان الفيديو ما تنزل فيه. هذا الطفلة مالتها ما في مجال يا عمي ما في مجال. قرب عند الخاء قرب عنده صورها لهي الحفيرة كمان. هذا صور عم يجبروها تروح الام غصب عنها اخذوا لها اولادها 3 وعندها بنتها هي عمرها سنه هلا اخذوها مريضه مع بكتيريا بالبول وجننوها للمرض. تفرج هذا تروح اللي ياخذوه غصب بالقوه يعني شغله بالقوه. هذا الاسترسال عم يخطف الاولاد تبع العرب.
بتمشي مع الدعاء في صوبي ده موكل
تعالوا فوت هذا اقول بكره يا اخي هاي عمل السوسيال هاي السوسيال الحرام ولادين الحرام. لا اله الا الله حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل. جننوها للام جننوها. يا تعال جيبوها تعال وانا ابدا. اتركها خليه ترى جاي ما يصير. يريدوا ياخذونه بهالطريقه يعني؟ ايه اولاد حرام يعذبوها اولاد الحرام. لا اله الا الله. وهاي سيارتين العمليه بالقوه بس ما تكون طولت الفيديو.
So why is that any different than what Hitler did? Why is that any different? And why are we seeing this worldwide? I'm going to have Don Rufty touch on that for a minute. And also, Don, if you can talk about the fact that we really do need these judges arrested and why.
What was that we just watched?
Okay, so that was children being stolen again. That was children being taken by CPS, and that's in Were you able to see it or not?
Yeah, it was a tiny, part of the screen. Well, now, were they, looked like they were, was that a woman they were wrestling to the ground?
The mother. That was their mother. That was their mom.
Yeah.
And it's very hard to watch it.
Yes, quite a struggle. Yeah. This is absolutely horrendous. In fact, in the 90s, I started calling it the American Holocaust.
Yeah.
It's very analogous. In fact, I was talking with someone the other day. I sent something out and to a young woman who I actually know. I didn't know where she used to work. She said she had been a social worker, and she thought what they were doing was good. And I thought later that probably some of those guards at the Nazi concentration camps thought they were doing the right thing. I mean, after all, the Fuhrer, the great leader, told them that's what they should be doing. And everybody at one time, actually, in Germany, simultaneously swore allegiance to Adolf Hitler and said they would do whatever he said. They accepted him as their dictator. It was all choreographed all over the country. Simultaneously, everybody in Germany swore allegiance to him. So I'm sure that these guards at the concentration camps thought they were doing exactly the thing they should be doing. And so, but it's come out in a lot of things that have been shared on Facebook in the last year that these CPS workers lie. And they've had this big right to lie court case. And they just think they're entitled to lie, to fabricate evidence, to perjure themselves, and don't think anything about it. They think they're doing the right thing. So now the lady in Canada said something really good a little while ago, which is absolutely accurate. She said one person is going to be ignored, and that is a truism. Okay. A bunch of people will not be ignored. As you probably know, my youngest son just became a lawyer, and we're talking about this subject a while back. And he said, 24 pissed off people will get what they want in this country. And hats off to you, Francesca. You're really good at bringing people together. And that is a very strong suit with you. Now, you mentioned the judges. The judges are the key figures in this very widespread criminal enterprise. That's where the tire meets the road. All these abominations, like these cops going out and arresting that lady so they could kidnap her children, and all of these other abominations that are inflicted upon people by the CPS workers and all these social workers, and all of these things stem from illicit court orders that are issued by these crooked judges. Those judges are not upstanding citizens. They are crooks. They're habitual criminals engaged in a continuous crime. Those are legal terms that describe what they're doing. In fact, last winter, I guess it was, I got to looking at, thinking about this. Well, how prolific are they as criminals? Because it was once said that in a very, very busy week, one of those judges might commit as many as 100 felonies against American citizens. I don't know how, it's probably just as bad in Canada than some of these other places. And so I thought, well, I wonder how that compares with some of the, notorious American, criminals that we've had, like Bonnie and Clyde and John Dillinger and Jesse James. So I did the research. Okay. And these exact figures I don't remember, but they're like Jesse James was is given credit or blame for having robbed about 12 trains. That's 12 felonies. And Bonnie and Clyde, I think, robbed maybe half a dozen banks and maybe a couple of dozen country stores. And John Dillinger, I think he probably, was credited with, robbing about 15 banks. Well, so you add all their crimes for all their careers together, it doesn't equal 100. And so if a judge commits 100 felonies in a really busy week, on an average week, it might be 50. okay, so 50, and so he's working, say, he gets 2 weeks paid vacation, and he works 50 weeks a year. What is that, 2,500 a year? If he's on the bench for 10 years, that's 25,000 crimes. And guess how many he gets prosecuted for? None at all. This is horrendous. And of course, the reason they're committing all these crimes is the same motivation that Bonnie and Clyde had, and John Dillinger had, and Jesse had. Money. They're getting all this money from the federal government, which is being stolen from the Social Security Trust Fund. And politicians have been admitting in recent years that these young people are probably not going to get any of their retirement money when they get older. Well, gee whiz, thanks a lot, crooks. You know, in the meantime, the crooks are living high. Oh, yeah. And so they're raking in the dough and splitting it up among themselves. They think it's, you know, fun. And so this is a very major national problem, and has been for many years, that needs to be solved. The people are coming together, and that's what it's going to take to overcome this problem. People coming together, and it's so encouraging to see people doing this now. I remember before the Million Parent March that Ted promoted so well, and his buddy Cash Jackson did, and they did a magnificent job, beginning about last December, it seems like. And people showed up in Washington. It was just tremendous. Kathleen Author has a video of it, and it's so stirring to watch that. And it's just produced so well. The music, I mean, you almost can't watch that without having your breath taken away. But I said before we went to Washington that I believed that the Million Parent March was going to be the turning point in this war against the American people by the crooked judges. And I believe that's true. And all the work that you've done in the interim has been tremendous. The crooks are going down. The people are rising up against this. And so I see January 3rd as D-Day in this war. And so I would like to see, and I know you're encouraging people to essentially have a Facebook avalanche of information presented to the American people, beginning now, if not already. I know I've already begun doing that. And people need to understand the reality of this abomination. Most people in this country do not realize that this is taking place. They assume that when the children are taken from their parents, the parents were somehow undeserving. But, and I've been wondering, where did this statistic come from? But I noticed last night, because I watched the broadcast a lot last night, and at the beginning of it, Ted has this figure, 85%. So I'm assuming Ted may know where this figure comes from. 85%, it is said, of parents from whom these children are taken are fit parents. They're not unfit parents. This is horrible. This is absolutely horrible. And so now, I really love the idea that has been presented of Occupy the News. As you know, I published a local newspaper in the Charlotte, North Carolina area for over 41 years. And I would love to get together with some people in Charlotte to visit the media. Yeah, oh yeah, I would be happy to go. Now, if other people are wanting to do this around the country, now I don't say, it's cold down here. I know you were cold in your car. Noticed earlier that, yeah. I mean, why would we just go to a TV station and stand out in front of the building? I don't understand that. I mean, why don't we just go in twos and threes in to visit with the reporters? If 2 or 3 people, if you and I and somebody else went to see a reporter a couple of weeks ago, would they say, no, people have to go away, you can't come to see would they say that?
Well, they're not going to take your stories that way. They're only going to take your stories if you make a scene outside in front, because they'll talk to you, but they won't take it past that point. We've done it.
Okay, well.
Enough people across the country are standing outside with signs up saying, this is the news we want to report. Occupying that space and just taking over that space, it's more apt to get the attention that it needs.
Well, yeah, I don't discount that at all. I don't discount that at all. But I will say this, that whereas probably at least 90% of the American public right now, at this moment, are completely unaware of the criminality in these so-called family courts.
Right.
The news media people are not immune to that ignorance. You know, what we have to say would be real eye-opener for most of those people. Even a lot of the politicians are not aware of the criminality. Some are, because some of them probably were involved in it the racket at one time or another. And so a big major objective for us right now in the family rights movement is to educate the people. And that includes reporters and that includes politicians. Now, I wrote something last February, which actually was an update of something I'd written the year before, and Rosa Dratch in New York and Jody Mueller in Texas and Diane Lyons in New Hampshire implored me to write an update for it. It was just called The Handout. And I think Jody has personally handed a copy of that to every legislator in Iowa and in Texas. And it actually posted this with just a one-page document printed on both sides. And she's posted both sides of it on bulletin boards in the courthouses down there. And so, but they were saying, well, you need to write about the child trafficking racket. And I told them, I said, I don't know about that. See, there are twin rackets in the family courts. The divorce racket, which I knew about in the 90s, and through my newspaper was able to get the entire Mecklenburg County divorce courts changed 180 degrees, which is phenomenal. I know my son said I probably had the only newspaper that ever existed that would actually do that. Because I came out with both guns blazing when it was visited upon me in 1995. And by 1997, for me, it was over forever. Didn't go on for 18 years or longer. But I kept on writing, which I think really puzzled the crooked judges, because I think they believed that if they just gave me what I wanted, I would just shut up, which was wrong, because I was never just writing for myself. I was like, you girl, you're not in this for yourself. You don't really have this problem now, do you?
No.
I don't either. I haven't had this problem for 20 years. I'm in this for my country and my countrymen, for my fellow man. Okay, so so I kept writing, and by about the year 2000, they changed 180 degrees from a cesspool of judicial corruption to a paragon of judicial virtue. It'd be nice if every county in the country was like Mecklenburg County in regard to divorce. Now, I'm not talking about child trafficking, okay?
Yeah.
Then we wouldn't have a problem with the divorce courts, okay? But now, so I really don't know what it is with child trafficking, although ironically, this is really weird. Even though until almost a year ago, I was unaware of this child trafficking racket, this Title IV-D and E stuff. I actually wrote a song about it, and it was published in 2002, and it was played on the John Boy and Billy show for about 6 months. And I didn't even know it was a racket. I thought it was just a really weird, one-of-a-kind, strange court case. It was probably the most notorious court case there ever was in Mecklenburg County. It was a Jack and Kathy Stratton case. DSS took their 10 children. It was completely illicit, just like all over the country now. And so, in fact, I was talking with Kathy just the other day. She would be great for you to interview.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. In fact, one time, I followed that case for about 10 months because some people in the citizens' rights movement that I created in Charlotte would call me one day, and they wanted me to meet with a radio guy who had a conservative radio program, and he wanted me to promote his program in my paper, and he would promote my paper on his radio program. I said, sure, okay. But when I went there, Jack and Kathy Stratton were there, which I think was the ulterior reason for meeting with me. And they told me their story, and which, I mean, how could you not, sympathize with them? And so, yeah, I got pretty close to them. And in fact, at one time, the North Carolina Court of Appeals actually wanted to hear oral arguments about that case. And my son, Daniel, who just became an attorney, and he was just a, teeny bopper then. And I took Jack and Kathy Stratton to Raleigh for that. And so, interesting experience for him as a young man. So, at one time they had a town meeting at the Adams Mark Hotel, one of these giant convention rooms that was packed with people for this case about the Jack and Kathy. And it was literally in the news every day for about 10 months that I followed. And there was WBT is one of the biggest radio stations in the country and one of the oldest. And they had a couple of guys that all went to All Talk, I think, in the 70s. And the guys that came on after Rush Limbaugh in the afternoon, Spires and Krantz, used to talk about that case literally every day. And that is all they talked about for 10 months that I know of, and probably was going on before that. So it was really... Don,
I'm sorry, because we're a very short time. We are very limited on time right now. I just really needed to know why it's so important that we need to have these judges arrested. That is our rights.
Okay, yes. The judges, the judges are violating people's rights left and right under U.S. Code Title 18, Section 242.
Exactly.
Which states that any judge or CPS worker or any other government agent who violates a person's rights is committing a felony. That is a crime. They should be prosecuted for those crimes. And they're not being. That is what we as a people should demand. We should demand that the law be enforced, that these crooked judges be indicted and prosecuted for their crimes against the American people. That is it right there. That is the whole problem. They're not being prosecuted. They're committing the crimes. They're not being prosecuted.
Exactly.
So hold on a minute. That's what we're pushing for right now. That's what we're pushing. This is why we're doing this right now. We have very limited time tonight. We literally have we're down at, we may have another 20 minutes on here tops, and I have other people I want to speak, and I need you guys to speak very short, very concise, and very to the point right now, okay? Because we have a lot of people watching right now, a lot of people right now. We've gotten, I don't even know how many shares already. I want to hear from everybody. Don, thank you. I really appreciate that. And that piece that Don does, that's gone viral because it is everyone. This is what's happening to everyone. This is what these judges are doing. This is what these predators are doing. I want to go to Niente in Maryland right now. I'd like you to speak up for the state of Maryland. And hold on, let me unmute you, or you're going to have to unmute you here. It's not letting me do it. If you can unmute yourself, it should. There you go. Hold on. There you are. So welcome, Niente, and please give a little short reason as to why this is so important that people participate in this event January 3rd.
This is not only for mother, not for the father. It is for everybody. Now on, all the moms and dads from New Year, we don't talk about my case, your case, or his case or her case. We are all together as a family, whether USA or any country. I don't want anybody to talk about that moms are not doing or moms are not getting rights or dads are not getting. We are not there. We have risen up. We are going forward as one country, as a weak people, as a global, not only US and Canada. And it really hurts me. You know, the children have voice, they have rights, but they are not given anything and they are being taken away from anybody. Mother or dad, I cannot stand that. My kids are adults. I'm not standing here only for your kids or my kids. I am here for the future grand generation. I don't want my grandkids to go through what we have gone through. When they go to court for any rights, they deserve to get it.
Thank you. Thank you. And that's right on. And if I can have Shar, Angel Astro, representing New Jersey.
New Jersey in the house. Hey, what I have to say is I'm going to just reiterate what everybody else is saying. Our voice does matter. And I need everybody out there to please share everything that we're putting out. We are marathoning everything. We need your help. We need your voice. We need you to share. We need you to share the emails. We need everything blasted. We're in the last 24 hours of this, guys. This is the marathon we're running. We need everybody out here. We need you to share, please, and be a voice. Stand up with your boots on the ground. That's what we're asking for. And we've been asking for that. And look how big we are. Listen, we're unified. And there is no male, female. It is about the children. It's about our kids, our voice for our kids. It's about our voice for our rights in any courtroom that we enter, that we get a fair trial for anything. And we're missing a mark here. Any rights. We need fair trials.
That's right.
And that's where we're at right now. And enough of this. It's corrupt. 100% corrupt. I had a lawyer tell me in a hallway from the opposing side that it didn't matter what I said. The judge was going to believe them anyway. And you know what? The judge did. Now I have to go bigger and better. And my fight has just begun. But it's the truth. And I recorded it and brought it all to you. That's how this system works. And that's for real.
Yes.
See you guys.
Thank you, Shar. I'm going to have, since piggybacking right off of New Jersey right now, I'm going to have Sia. She's 10 years old. Sia, I want you to talk about January 3rd, honey, global citizens arrest, why this is so important to you. And you're representing children all over the place.
Need to come home.
Be that voice.
Because all the kids around the world need to come home. And they need to be reunited with their families.
Thank you. I'm going to go right now to Melanie in Georgia. She's representing the state of Georgia.
I got to talk. Hold on. Hey, what's going on? Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you. You're good. Good sound.
Okay, guys. So just on my end, I'm just letting you know I've got media. We've got big things working underground and above ground now. This move is global. As y'all know, it is spreading like wildfire. I mean, people are waking up everywhere. I'm getting messages 24/7. It's awesome what God is doing in the midst of this. I am pushing everyone I know, anyone that has ever known me, even, just y'all individually, push your friends, push your family. Say, look, just do me a favor, even if you don't even know what's going on. And that's what I'm doing. Even if you don't believe it, because it's so bizarre to them, and I got it, I understand it, but you're sitting there telling them the truth, and you're saying, look, we need to wake up the world, not just America, the world. We are coming united. We are all coming from every race, every ethnicity. It is a global movement, y'all. I mean, like, we are here. I am here representing your children. I am fighting for them just as much as I'm fighting for my own. That is what we are about. We support each other. We help each other. And we will drain the economy. January 3rd, 2018, we are not going to spend anything. We are not going to pour into this economy. And even when that doesn't get attention enough, we're not going to stop there. It is only going to escalate from here. Again, I'm the media contact, so I am working on several things as we speak. I have been this entire time. Stories are coming out locally. And I'm pushing for national, and I'm in touch with a few people, waiting on their response. But things are happening, guys. God is angry over this. He is not playing about this any longer, and he's not going to allow this any longer. And I'm telling you right now, I don't care what religion you are. I don't care what's going on. I'll tell you, the one true God is angry. He is using this movement to rescue his people. And just as God was used Moses, Fran is like Moses, and she's being used by God Almighty to lead the Israelites out of captivity. And so we are behind her. We are holding her arms up. Fran, we love you. Thank you. You don't even have a dog in this race anymore. You don't even have to be in this, but you stand beside us. And there are no words to say thank you. We love you. Thank you for everything you're doing. You could tuck tail and run right now, honey, and I understand. but you stand beside us. You work 24/7, 24/7. And we just love you. Thank you for being our voice. Thank you for saving our children. And guys, let's do this. We're all beautiful warriors in this.
Melanie, I love you, and I love each and every one of you. And when I say that, I mean that with a sincere heart. But, you know, I have to say something about what you and Don just said. We're never out of the woods in this. This is an abusive system. And so we're not, listen, we have to all continue to fight this. Even those that have, quote unquote, won, you lost along the way of having to, quote unquote, win. So we're not out of the woods in this. We have to be our brother's keeper in this, period.
We do. Absolutely.
You know, it comes down to, guys, here's something too, and why I'm going to continue, and we're going to do this until this whole thing is completely done on its face. It has to be done. But this is about, okay, my son one day will marry somebody who's been abused by the system, possibly. Okay, so does this continue to affect us if we don't put a stop to it? I'm going to put Melanie on because right now her boys are being so abused by Judge Westfall in Minnesota. We can't get into the whole thing. We are so short on time. But now that our platform has grown so much, Melanie, I want you to tell what this corrupt judge is doing to you in Minnesota, because now he's making your child freeze, and your child that has well, you tell it. You tell it. Try to keep it within under 5 minutes if you can.
I'll try. No, thanks to all this corruption, I had my middle son get caught up in some things with a friend of his, and he just had some community service just the other day, and it's not like my family to be involved with anything with criminal matters and everything. And he had his community service, and this is Minnesota, people. It was below zero, freezing temperatures outside. He was outside for 5 hours in the cold, freezing, and having to work 50-minute intervals and then a 10-minute warm-up break, and then working another hour in the freezing, frigid, cold Minnesota. And it's no thanks to Judge Westfall, like Fran said, that has been causing this case to go on for 10 years. And it was fortunate enough that Carl hasn't gotten sick from being out like that. But he's beside himself as to why he gets punished for something that is not like him to do. But yet his father has been committing fraud, perjury, child abuse. The son that was out doing this community service was hit and smacked by his father, along with his brothers that have been hurt by his father. I have been abused by his father. And to wrap it up, the current thing that's happening right now is my ex-husband kidnapped my youngest son last night. He was supposed to bring my son back home at 9:15 last night, and he's still gone. I don't know where he's at. And this is the umpteenth time that he does not return my son to me like he's supposed to. And I call the cops, and they do absolutely nothing. And my ex-husband does not have adequate enough heat. He doesn't have cable. He doesn't have any internet. He forces them under duress and against his will. And my son that he has right now is going to be 15, February 5th. It's just, like Fran said, Judge Westfall needs to go down. Minnesota, pardon me, sucks. Brown County needs to go down. Westfall is the worst judge around here that aids and abets abusers. And he was told right to his face by a certified professional that my ex-husband is an abuser, narcissistic, and continues to force these poor kids to go to his care, despite the fact that there's been 10 years plus history of abuse towards women and children. He goes on ChristianMingle.com and terrorizes and targets Christian women and children because he knows we're trained to forgive and can get by with getting women that have money so that he doesn't have to pay for anything. Yep. Brown County, Minnesota, USA needs to go down. Goodbye, Westfall. January 3rd, I want Brandon to go put those handcuffs on Westfall. I want Carl to go put those damn ankle bracelets on Westfall. I want Jacob to go put the waist bracelets, whatever, on Westfall, and everybody else around here. Not just Westfall, but the police department, the county, every nook and cranny around here that's been aiding and abetting my ex-husband for the last 10 years. I've had enough of these idiots around here not listening when I'm going all out to go work with domestic violence advocates. I was hit when I was pregnant, and I lost a twin to my middle son when I was 8 weeks along. And I know I want to wrap up because I know you're on a time frame, but we need to get this taken care of now. I don't even know where Jacob is right now. I'm sorry, I'm beside myself. I don't know where he's at.
I understand. And this is what happens. Family after family under stress and duress and in a limbo state. And living, everybody you see here represents you, represents every person watching, every person you see here represents you. And the abuses that are intolerable abuses caused to families, okay, that should have never been. The little girl you just saw, Sia, she lost her mother because her dad, Lee, and her mom, Shay, okay, are whistleblowers. They're working for you long before they met you and long after they ever meet you. They stayed up all night working for you and for this cause. Please, you're seeing on the screen here, you're going to see a fundraiser for them. Please help them, $1. And I'm going to have Lee come on real quick here and talk about another father in Florida. But before I do, I just want to let you guys know that we have tweeted. We've been blast tweeting. 23 news stations and radio stations have been tweeted all across Minnesota, Melanie, so you know, including the State Tribune and Rush Limbaugh. That doesn't include all the other news stations that have been tweeted. Hey, listen, and I'm calling out to Twisted Sister, okay? We're not going to take it. That's what we're standing on. We need you to defend us. We need you. We're calling on people like Corey Feldman right now.
Yeah.
Put your money where your mouth is. Come join us. Come join us.
Got your back, Corey.
Ashton Kutcher, yes, we love you, Corey.
We got your back, guys.
There's no such thing as Hollywood, this and that. Listen, I worked in that industry. Okay, come see me, come talk to me. I work with a lot of big people, and you're just like we are. No different. No different. Exactly. Don't get all starry-eyed over these people. You need our help right now. Okay, let me tell you, when I tell you guys, and I'm not joking, when I say a changing of the guard, it is that season right now. It is a changing of the guard. Who you think is down here is going to be the person in authority. Watch and see. You're going to see, mark my words, I don't say things just to talk. Lee, go ahead and talk about the dad in Florida.
Okay, so everyone knows that I have a GoFundMe, and I want everyone to understand. Right now, our homes are getting compromised. Hopefully this is going to back them up. That's been one of my agendas. It's not about money, people. It is not. It's about getting your kids to safety and out of the situation. This dad down in Florida, although I would love the $1 that you're going to give and donate, he needs about 3,000 more. He is in a campsite right now with his 3 girls. He has family houses back home, I think in Ohio. I have to read exactly what state, Sam. See if you can see that. He's in a campground right now. He's right now currently can't get on the phone with me, wants to, but he has to move everything into the tent, everything that he doesn't store in the tent so that they could sleep, into the tent because it's raining, so his girl's stuff doesn't get ruined. Like, get on tonight. Let's get this man and his 3 girls out of a cold campsite. Not sleeping on the ground. Come on.
Yeah.
See, judges won't take your kids away when you're in situations like that, because then they are going to cross into a new line of saying, hey, you're poor, we're taking your kids. They watch how close to the lines of civil rights violations they do come. You know, but
well, I think
being held hostage in Florida, they're not letting them leave. Miami-Dade County. Get it, Francesca, if you want to take over.
I was just going to say it depends on the state, but see, listen to this. Lee, and I've met him several times. We're working very closely together right now. Lee has a heart of an advocate. His wife, heart of an advocate. She lost her life because of a heart of an advocate. So the little girl you saw lost her mother. Their Christmas was mourning their mother. They're not even having the opportunity to mourn, okay?
No, we've moved so many times this year. We're running. We literally get pulled over. See, I don't have my license. Me and Shay decided that I would not keep my license because they utilize that to harass me, right? So I just stopped driving. We had the caretaker with my grandmother, that's Samantha, and we had another license in the house. So I was able to be mobile, you know? Yeah. Until Sam came back. Sam came back in May. So I was Ubering the kids. I was Ubering the kids everywhere to school. Corpus Christi and Hasbrook Heights extended me a free year because we paid for the year before and everything. When they heard that Shay died, they said, get over here, which that helped me a lot, because in public school, like in the interview you guys are going to be seeing tomorrow, public school, they'll just walk right in and take your kid downstairs. Yep. You know, and ultimately, what was I just saying? I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. I'm so tired.
It's okay, it's all right, because he stayed up all night, guys. He's fighting for you. That's what I want to say.
We literally just
he's pushing everybody to not concern themselves with his GoFundMe, which they're in desperate need, and reaching out to another human being. That's
okay. I just remembered it. I just got it back. So we moved 7 times, and until Sam came in May. So we have September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April on buses and trains, and I'm only getting a limited amount of income. I don't have anybody that I really can trust the kids with. So working is absolutely difficult. And then I'm Ubering. So I would make some weeks $1,000 in between the Ubers and getting the kids home on Uber, $40 at the end of the night. I'm really, after making $1,000, I'm left with $200, and I still cannot go buy my kids shoes. Because that extra $200, that's for the food. Because I'm only getting $1,680 a month in the death benefits. You know, in the house that I've been fixing, this house, I had to fight to get it away from the lawyer in the state so that they wouldn't undersell it. I put $6,000 in over the year to get it up in value so that me and the kids have something when it sells. You know, we lost my grandmother, and 6 months later, we lost my wife.
Yeah. No, and I applaud you and your daughter there. I would have my son right here right now, but he gets so stressed out. He's got a major medical issue. These kids need to work together too. And I think with these kids speaking up and advocating on their own behalf, saying, hey, we're not going to take this anymore either. I applaud her. I am so proud of you, young lady, for speaking up like this.
Wait till you see her interview. Her interview is going to come out. We're going to have that interview showing. We have to cut it. We have to stop now because there's another broadcast coming on, and we actually went over Ted's time. So thank you again, Ted, because he's always right there for us. He's literally right. Ted, I need you right now, and this guy's ready to go. And I really appreciate that, Ted. I have to tell you. And I know you do it because you have a heart of an advocate as well. And this is all we live for, guys. This is what we do. Okay? So please, I can't ask you enough. Please continue to help us to help you, because we can't help you without you helping us to help you. It's very important that we continue to unite. Okay, you see all different kinds of nationalities and religions and people that we choose to be a part of the core group from different places because we understand the heart that they have for people. And we are all in agreement. We are the same fellowship. Okay, and so that's why we are together, and we work together, and we fight literally around the clock. They didn't sleep last night, okay? And people are on hunger strikes right now, and in the media and all these different venues that we're trying to do to push for January 3rd. This is the most important day. I'm telling you, the most important day in the history of time right now. This is the most important day. We have to make sure that our rights that are already existent are protected, and that these abuses stop to families. We will be going live throughout as long as we can tonight. Not on this particular broadcast because Kirk's Law Corner, I believe it is what's coming on tonight, right, Ted? Is it Kirk's Law Corner?
Correct.
I tell you guys to go ahead and watch Kirk's Law Corner. We're going to wrap it up with a couple of pieces that we have tonight, and we're going to leave it at that this evening, but we'll be back on live. I'm not going to interfere with Kirk's Law Corner time, but we're continuing to trump this message. I thank every single person out there that has been trumping this. You guys are rocking it. You guys are out there on Twitter. You're on all these different places doing this right now. I see signs going up. I see you guys are making posters and memes all over the place and covering the World Wide Web. And that's how we do this. And it's carte blanche, guys. Go ahead and keep doing what you're doing. Keep pushing. Keep going. There's going to be protests everywhere. I'll be in New Haven, Connecticut with a good amount of people. All right. I'm working with a lot of kids. Okay. We have more kids that are trying to come forward. We're some that we're protecting. We have different ways that we're handling this, okay? But we need to do it for them. And listen, hey, if you're not in it, you're in it. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. We have to save one another. We have to protect our nation, okay? We have to protect our country. We have to protect our countries. And we have to continue to work together. So God bless each and every one of you. We're going to finish it up with a couple of short pieces and go into our final close. And we thank you guys. And please, you're asking me what you can do to help. I'm going to tell you what you can do to help. This is what you can do to help. You don't even have to come to me. You don't even have to. Twitter, get out there and get in front of your media places. Get out there. Hold up your signs. Demand that our stories are told. This is the news we want to hear. News that affects our families. There is nothing more important other than if there's a storm coming, okay? And the letter is going to be posted on my page shortly after. Guys, look for that email. Tell everyone. Tell everyone. That email has that letter has 3 emails it has to go to. Sandy, you guys that are in Canada, she's going to be posting her letter. Any other countries want to do this, you can follow suit. Okay, but we are definitely doing an email blast starting tomorrow. You can start tonight. As soon as it's on, you guys can start email blasting the 3 emails. President Trump, Attorney General Jeff Sessions. Oops, I lost it. Hold on. Darn it. I get too much information. And also, here we go. Nope. I've lost my page here. But anyway, the emails will be on there. Those are the 3 most important places to email this blast to, okay? And that's what you guys can be doing. Spread the word far and wide. Get out there and do your own protesting. And don't spend a dime on January 3rd. Do not spend a dime. Thank you. God bless you guys.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. This is Jessica. I'm the chapter leader for Sullivan County, New York. And you know, I'm just wondering, are you guys really out there listening? And especially for January 3rd, 2018, the Citizens Arrest Day. Don't buy nothing at all. Whatever you need, you buy the day before or the day after, not on that day. This is the day that everything stops. It stops for you. It stops for us. Because you know what? We want to make our message loud and clear to the system. To the corrupted courts, to the lawyers, to CPS. This is absolutely sickening. For the videos that I found last night on YouTube about a judge in Denver, Colorado. They actually went on after CPS, this judge did. And I actually shared it on my Facebook. And there are arrests being made. People got fired. And due to you know, a child lost its life while they were in the hands of CPS. And they admitted it. It's absolutely sickening, horrifying, and it needs to stop. You know, there are many of us that don't have our children for Christmas. And this part of having to do with January 3rd. Let's bring our kids home for good, guys. Come on. Let's stand together. As a globe, as a unit, we have to tear down the system. Then we could build it back up, make it better to where it's supposed to work for the children, where they are made to follow the laws. They're breaking the laws, they're violating our rights left and right, and they're not following any of the constitutional rights at all. And I've had it, and there are so many people that have had it. It's just, I'm done, you know? Let's bring our kids back, and let's do this thing with January 3rd, 2018. We're going to rock this nation, and there are many countries that are joining with us. We all have to work together as a whole to get this done. We can't do this single-handedly because nothing's going to get done. The message isn't going to be made loud and clear. So, January 3rd is going to be a huge statement. And I'm pretty sure it'll end up making the history books. So, I hope everybody's on board. I really do. Because it's not just me. There's now billions, possibly trillions of us now that's doing this. Alright guys, so please post your 3 to 5 minute video supporting the January 3rd event 2018. Come on, guys, let's do this. Have a good day, everybody.
Hi. The reason for this video is to implore and encourage all of my friends, family and acquaintances to not purchase anything, zip, zero, zilch, nothing. On January 3rd, 2018, we are protesting Family Court and the fact that they do not stand up for the best interests of children, and also that CPS, Child Predator Services, is not doing what's in the best interests of children. I hope you'll join me and Punish for Protecting January 3rd, 2018. Please message me if you have any other questions. Cheers. Bye.
Our children deserve the best. It's time to remove the mask. For once, let us be honest. We parents will not step back. Our children deserve the best. It's time to remove the mask. For once, let us be honest. Parents will not step back. Our children deserve the best.